Managing equipment failures. As much as we would like to say it's not going to happen, equipment will have failures. Equipment will break down. And how do we handle those failures? When we have a replacement, are we sure it's going to work? This is a really key part that we keep hammering on, because if we have an extended downtime, we have the part, if we take it out of the box and we put it in and it doesn't work, all that does is just extends our downtime. The downtime itself becomes much more expensive than the cost of the components we're replacing. So do we trust the supplier we're getting it from, and are we getting the best value? What I want to highlight here is remanufacturing and repair. It's a common business. It's an important business. We want to maximize value on the parts that we've already purchased. We've already purchased the parts. We already own a stake in the part. What we want to try to do is try to capitalize on that as much as possible. So highlighting Rockwell's remanufacturing and repair, taking in this case, an old variable frequency drive and restoring it to a like new or better product. So because they built the product originally, in this case with Allen Bradley, they're going to have the best knowledge of that part. They also have an extreme investment in who they use to repair the parts and how they repair the parts. Their process itself carries multiple certifications, so they work really well with the Rockwell parts. They can also handle non-Rockwell parts as well, just being a quality repair center. But on the Rockwell side, they know the parts, so they're not only going to say, okay, this part broke, we're going to replace this part and send it back. They're going to take a look at the whole product itself. So they look at the whole product, and they're going to find other areas or weak spots that also need to be addressed, and go ahead and address them as well. So you're not just going to get a part that's a little bit better than the one you sent back. You're going to get one that's like new or better condition. They're even, depending on the case, they're going to put the latest firmware on it and go ahead and implement changes that have happened to that part over time. If they impact safety or reliability or performance, they're going to go ahead and give it some of the upgrades that it missed in the manufacture, or that it was too old for in the manufacturing cycle. So you're getting a better than new or like new part. You're capitalizing on the investment you already made, but your cost here is up to 50% less than just buying the part again. And that's, like I said, that's capturing the cost you've already put into the product when you first purchase it. You're able to reuse that again by getting the repaired component. And you get a 1 year or more warranty carried by new products. And like I said, it can be third-party products as well, and you're still going to get a 1 year warranty. So when we have a failure, what are our choices here? Think of economy as a traditional repair. This is Rockwell taking the part that failed on site, fixing it using their qualified process. You're getting like new or better. You're going to get all the updates that it needs, and you're going to get your part back. And this is typically about a 2-week turnaround with a 1 year warranty. Well, they also have a hub, and in this hub there is parts that have already been repaired. So these parts have already gone through the remanufacturing process. They already have the upgrades. They're verified operational. They've gone through extensive testing. But the benefit of having a hub is you don't have to wait 2 weeks to get your part back. So what this does is, if it's in the hub, you send your part back and they send you a part out of the hub. So we can bypass the repair time and get this down to 3 to 5 days. You're still going to get an 18-month warranty. And if they don't have one in the hub, they don't have exactly what you need, then your part is actually going to move to the top of the list, the front of the line for the repair process. And then finally, let's say you've got a really, really critical part and maybe don't have a spare, or you only have one spare and you want to get a new part as soon as possible. We can do a priority exchange. And this is really going to utilize the hub. So the hub's going to have the part. We get it the next day. So this is going to include next day shipping. Get the part, send the part back, get a 24-month warranty on the repaired part. So we're going to talk about next day type turnaround. So very fast turnarounds with a part that you know is going to work. And that's really the critical part at the end of the day is, do you trust the repair? We can't afford, when we're down, to get a part that doesn't work. So trusting the repair, trusting it's going to work, is a very key part of the process. These are actually handled in My Equipment as well. If I go back over to a My Equipment page, and I'm going to go from the home side here. So My Rockwell Automation. I'm going to manage, and I'll go to My Repairs. I have two things I can do here. I can create quotes. So if I want to get a repair quote, I'll just look at an example here. Here's a repair quote on a part. It's going to include the series. In some applications, the series of the part really matters. What series means on a part is hardware changes. Based on component changes or upgrades or optimizations, when the hardware itself changes, Rockwell increments the series letter. So series A would be the original release, series B would be the next release. In some cases, in validated applications, for example, it's really important to try to match those series values whenever possible. So we might include the series here as well when we're getting the repair. And then we select, is this priority, is this standard, is this economy? So we select what we want. We can include some details on the failure, serial number, and photos if we want to, and then we can request a quote. Now, once we've actually gone through this process, we can actually look at some of our orders. And the nice thing about tracking orders is it turns it from a dataless operation where we just send a part back and we get a part, and we send a part back and we get a part, where we're just managing parts that have failed, to really understanding what's happening throughout the process. So in this case, we've got a few items on here on the same order. On this one, it'll actually tell us where we are in every step of the process. So this one is still awaiting receipt. This one has been received. These are just some examples here. This one, the repair is started, and this one, the repair is complete, and it's waiting for that shipping phase. So we can actually see for our different part numbers here, so these are different catalog numbers, we can see for these various parts where we are in the process and how it's moving. So when someone asks, what's the status on the part, it's not a exercise of making phone calls and trying to figure it out. It's very clearly laid out within your already existing My Equipment area. We can also provide analytics for you on commonly failed parts. Are we having the same parts fail over and over and over again? Or is this line having the most failures? And we can start tracking these failures and understand what's going on. Back to the asset management, what do we need to do? What steps do we need to take? So we actually have an asset management professional either with ES&E or with Rockwell that can help managing this process.